18 pages. Front and back!
D196, Principles of Financial and Managerial Accounting. I just took the OA and passed, probably by the skin of my teeth. First of all, I'll give you a little timeline. So I started the course on 8/07, and then finished the course today, 8/18. So it took me 11 days to complete this course. The caveat to that is, as I said in a previous video, I'm in the Army National Guard, and I do drill weekends once a month. Sometimes they're 3 days, 5 days, whatever the case may be, 2 days. But so we had a 3-day drill. So the day before was packing. So I did the course, started the course on 8/07, did the course for about 3 or 4 days, and then didn't do absolutely anything on the course for 4 days. Came back after those 4-day military orders and then did another 4 days. I honestly feel like that kind of screwed me. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. If you're going to start a course, I would make sure that you are wide open to spend as many days as you think is going to be necessary until you complete the course. You know, I wouldn't take long breaks in between because, again, if you're anything like me, it's hard for me to remember things if I completely quit doing it. And like I said, when I was on those orders, I didn't even touch my laptop. I couldn't do anything to, listen to videos or anything like that. So I feel like a lot of that stuff kind of just left me. And when I took the pre-assessment, it kind of showed that a lot of that stuff left me because I did pretty well on the bottom section of it. But all the units, I think I got through like 3 units before I left. And I didn't do very well on those first 3 units, but I did pretty okay on the last 4 units. And now jumping into the actual course material, man, there was a lot to it. I'm brand new to accounting, as I said in my other videos. Maybe a lot of this stuff, if you do continuous accounting or that's your job, or you've done it for many years, maybe a lot of this stuff will be pretty easy to you. But to somebody like me who doesn't do any accounting whatsoever, a lot of this stuff was brand new, and it definitely felt brand new. Again, a lot of definition, like I showed at the beginning of this. I have probably not 18 pages of notes, but there's probably a solid 15 pages of notes. And so much of it was, definitions and equations and, the Excel portion, just remembering all of the different ways that you punch things into spreadsheets and how you do equations for like your contribution margins and things like that. Like all of it was just so new, that I actually kind of struggled with this class a little bit. I wouldn't say it's extremely hard or anything like that, but there's just a plethora of information that you have to take in, so be prepared for that. Now, my program mentor is who assigned my degree plan. I don't know if you really get any decisions on what you take, or which terms, you take what courses, but something I would suggest before you take this class, if you have the capacity to do so, is I would take D100 to spreadsheets, introduction to spreadsheets, and if you have an algebra course on your degree plan, I would see if you could take that first. Not that there's really a ton of algebra or a ton of spreadsheets, but it might help you to kind of go through this course a little bit faster if you already are pretty familiar with those two things, Now, as I said, I started the course for about 3 or 4 days and then left for 4 days and then came back for another 3 or 4 days and then took the OA. So I think a realistic timeline of this course is about a week. I've seen people on like Reddit and things like that say that, I knocked this course out in 3 days, and I really don't know how. It would have took me 3 days just to take all the notes that I took. I didn't really read the material a whole lot. Most of it I scrolled through, watched the videos. The thing about the videos in these chapters is they pretty much sum up all the reading. A lot of the reading was like examples, like this is what Walmart does for a balance sheet or things like that. So I think you can get by with this class with maybe skimming a little bit of the reading material that you're not 100% on, and then mostly just watching the videos. Also in the chapters, if any of the words are blue, that means it's a definition. So probably the majority of my notes was me scrolling over top of the highlighted blue words and then writing down the definition. It's probably the vast majority of my notes, honestly. And the cohorts helped out an awful lot too. I can't remember the name of the instructor that does them, but he's pretty good. If you can learn things on ×2 speed, they're about an hour and some change each, and I think there's 3 of them, but they're pretty good. They helped out a good bit. They gave you examples and little things to try to remember. But I watched those right before I took my OA, and I think they helped out a pretty good bit. The last thing I'll say is the big money question that everybody in WGU likes to ask is, did the PA and OA line up? Yes and no. So the Excel portion was almost exactly the same, like the actual chart portion. If you took the PA and you did pretty well on the chart portion, then it's almost exactly the same, just with different numbers. So that's not bad. As far as the rest of it, not really. I don't think it lined up very well at all, to be honest with you. I know everybody hates to hear that news, but the sad fact is I thought for sure I was going to fail by the end of it, and then luckily passed. And as we say, a pass is a pass. So the last 2 units of this course make up 50% of your grade, well, not grade, your competency on this course. So what I would suggest as far as what to really focus on is focus on those last 2 units. Know your CVP equation and your break even, your contribution margin equation. I don't think you really need to memorize all the equations, but those 3 or 4, whatever, are pretty important to know. I would focus heavy on like your product costing and period costing, your horizontal and vertical analysis. It honestly just feels like the meat and potatoes of this course is in the latter half of the course. But there's some stuff in the beginning that you kind of need to know. But like I said, the last 2 units are 50%, so I'll really focus on those. Again, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I just don't feel like the OA and the PA align very well. So you really have to learn this stuff. But that's really all I got. Again, I don't think the course was the most difficult thing I've ever done by any stretch, but it wasn't easy either. But if you just apply yourself and put in the time, it's good to put in like long hours. I feel like I'm pretty blessed. My wife is in childcare, so she has both of our kids all day long. I work nights, so I can work all night, go to bed, wake up at like noon, and then have from noon to 5 to really just focus on my studies. So I'm pretty blessed and can put in like real bulk hours, Monday through Friday, and even on the weekends a little bit if I want to. But I'm just ready to move on to the next one because that was a pretty challenging one, I think. The next one I'm starting is C168. So hopefully it's only a couple day course and I can come back on here and let you guys know how that one went. But that's all I got. See ya.